So welcome everyone. Happy Friday. We are so glad that you could take the time to join us today. Today we are continuing in this series about Fiery. Going to give you a hands-on look today at Spot On. This is the second of third in our series. Last time we talked about Command Workstation and Fiery View, and now we're going to walk you through a little bit about Spot On and hopefully give you a nice deep look into it, show you an actual demonstration, which is what we're going to be doing for most of this call today, and allow some time at the end to answer any questions that you might have. So we're just here to not take up too much time. We're going to get things rolling. I have with me Todd Flowers from Konica Minolta. He'll be walking you through most of the demo. But we also have with me today Bill Montez. You all know him well, and he'll be kicking things off. So without any further delay, I'm going to turn things right over to Bill and get things rolling. Bill, the floor is all yours.
Thanks, Justin. Again, I appreciate everybody's time on here. I understand the time of the year we are at, and hopefully everybody's busy in their stores. But really, just wanted to, before Todd kicks everything off, just moving into the next year, just wanted to let you know, corporate's really focusing on print services, and we discussed this a little bit on the previous call. But this was discussed at the convention as well, and there really be a major push on training at the individual store basis next year from print services. Is just such a hot topic that we are planning double-digit growth next year. So there's a lot of emphasis on that. Ways you can help to make sure that we hit those goals. Really, one, need to get the owners that really are on the fence about doc squads out there. Try to get them to the meetings when you're having those conversations with them. Try to get them, let them know that what we're doing, what you guys are doing as individual teams, and try to get them to those meetings. And two is really training. These webinars are a great start. It's really just taking what you learn here today and applying it at a store level, making sure your employees are aware of what's going on, and so they can apply it as well. Learning and training has really spent a lot of time as well developing those sales and service training workbooks that you're probably aware of. The print services one was the last one released, and as you know, training employee knowledge is really a key to success in print services, from your level all the way down to the employee level. Really, in the pilot, and they piloted that, I just want to share a few results with you from May to August, and there were same-store sales of the stores that participated in the training services pilot was up 8% above the ones that didn't, and the average sale per transaction was up about 5%. So with that said, I mean, the training covered a wide range, if you haven't looked at it yet, a wide range of specifics on print services offerings, pricing, print jobs, online requests, identifying available finishing services, and so on. So it's critical that we don't let it just sit there on the drive, but that we apply it and utilize it in our centers there. So with that said, I don't want to take any more of your time. I'm just going to hand it over to Todd and his team, and thanks again.
Hello, everyone. Can everyone hear me? Okay. Okay, great, Justin. Thank you. Sorry for the delay there. Couldn't tell that my mic was live. Justin, don't we have a second slide on the agenda? Okay, super. Thank you. This is what we're going to cover today. And first and foremost, thanks for everybody getting on the call. This is pretty, Spot On that we're going to cover is a pretty simple application once you boil it down. But we're going to learn how to log on to Spot On and what Spot On is and what a Pantone color is and how you can use corporate colors or creating custom colors to capture your clients and to hopefully grow your client base with your knowledge of color and the tools within Spot On, within the Fiery Command Workstation. So, Justin, if we go ahead and just, am I already set up to run my screen live here?
Not yet. Just go ahead and accept that message.
Are we good now, Justin?
Yep, you're on.
Okay, thank you. So what we're going to do here is going to show you how to get to the spot-on application. And this assumes that you have already taken the first webinar or are familiar enough how to log into your command workstation. And this is what it's normally going to look like when you log in, and hopefully you have that many printed and held and archived jobs that we went over last time. But with that being said, it's very easy to get into the spot-on application. The easiest way is just to go to the Go section here in the menu, and then go to Spot Colors, as you see there. And then you see all these libraries of colors. And I'm going to back up just a little bit. I'm assuming, well, I'm not assuming. Everybody may not know what a Pantone color is, but Pantone was the first company to basically set up a color standard for all the communication of color out there. So a Pantone 101 is a shade of yellow. How many shades of yellow are there? So what I did was I got on the Pantone web page, and you've seen these guides, these books that look something like this. And this is how designers and printers communicate color. And when you look into the guide, so you understand how spot-on works, the Pantone numbering system states that this Pantone color, for this instance, this 232C, which is a Pantone 232 coated. This is what it looks like in 4-color process over here to the right. And just so you know, you can only print with 4-color process 40% matching of the Pantone spot colors. So that's how you have to navigate through this. You might have some designers say, why can't you print a Pantone 185, which, by the way, is a very close relative of Coca-Cola Red, if you ever heard that custom corporate color. You know, you have to print, you can only print what's available in 4-color process gamut. What print shops do, and printers who have 6-color presses, is they make a spot or a bump plate to where they have a 4-color process, CMYK on the first 4 heads of the press, and then 2 bump plates, meaning they pour in a Pantone 232, as you see here on screen, so it prints 100% of that color. I'm just trying to, you know, make sure everybody's on the same page about how colors are created in a 4-color process, because that gamut is clipped. And that's why your designers will come in and say, why can't you print what's on my screen? Well, it's because you print in 4-color process, not in 6-color process or anything like that. So, and this is what a Pantone guide looks like, the inside of the chip guide. I just wanted to show this to you. It shows the 4-color mixture of the closest match you can get here in 4-color process, meaning 3% magenta, 60% cyan, and then 0, on yellow and black. So that's what a Pantone color is. Are there any questions on what a Pantone color is at this point?
And Todd, I do have a hand raised. It looks like MBE 3214, so let me just go ahead and transfer the mic to them real quick. Bear with me a second. And I'm sorry, guys. For some reason, I can give anyone the mic except for you. Can you go ahead and write your question into me?
Well, Justin, I'm just going to continue, and when that question pops up,
Yeah, I'll let you know.
I'll take over. So, so you got and one thing that may answer the question is designers in the native applications will choose these Pantone colors. And the way that the Fiery works on the back end, the Fiery uses this spot-on application, and 99% of the time designers will design in Pantone coded, okay, which is this library right here. And I just opened it up. And then, like I said, you know, Pantone 101 is a shade of yellow. And there's your Pantone 101, and it shows you what the CMYK values are. The way it works on the back end with the Fiery is that it sees the name in the file, Pantone 101, spelled correctly, and it says, I'm going to print it the way that I'm supposed to because this is the way that I know I can print it best. So if you look here in that Pantone 101, you see here that yellow. I click on it there. It shows that little gamut warning right here. Looks like a caution sign. And this is the original, and I'm not sure how you can see it on the web, but it looks a little different here. I mean, it gets close to it. So the delta or the difference in it is here, the 1.63, not to get too technical because color is very subjective and it depends on how your eye sees it. So that's what happens when you're using the Fiery and spot on. Now, the way this can help you in understanding that is that if you ever had a client come in and say, hey, can you print this business card, this color on my business card, can you reproduce that? Well, if you understand spot on, you can use it two different ways. Earlier today, I created some custom color library here. Okay, this is in the lookup table. So the way you do that is you hit New here, and first you have to make a group. I'm going to call this Test, and I just made a new group. Now within that group, which I like to call it Custom Colors, you can put everybody's custom color in there. So for instance, the gentleman's name is Bob, and he's a painter, and his logo is blue. So you want to make a color that says Bob's Blue. Then basically, when you go through this exercise I'm getting ready to show you, you're going to be able to say to Bob, well, Bob, as long as you type in Bob's Blue in your file, and with that vector art that's in there, non-halftone images, non-photographs, just vector art or painted material on the page, then Bob thinks that you're the only one on the planet that can print as blue. That's what printers have been doing for years. So you're doing corporate branding, but what you're actually doing is you're using spot on to capture that client so that you have that relationship with him or her. So you open up the custom colors, and I'm going to say I want a new spot color. Right? Then this is where you name the new spot color. Bob, and then blue. You see where I'm doing the capitalization there? Again, the Pantone system and spot on is, think of it as a color by name and number. Okay? So if he types in Bob and then blue all capitalized, and in the native application, say in Publisher, he types that in and draws maybe a square block of that color, he actually doesn't even have to colorize that element, because when the Fiery sees it, it's going to print that entire element in the color that we specify. So if you look here, you don't see a whole lot of color here. So what you do is you click on these arrows, and I'm moving more towards the blue family. Or if he wants a different color, you can angle it this way and go more towards the red or the yellow or the green and move it that way. What the center patch represents is these values here, magenta 41, yellow 59. Don't get too caught up in the math here because it's just how colors are made. Because what you're going to do eventually is you're going to hit print here, okay? After you get it to where it looks like what is on screen is what he wants. And then you're going to get a page that looks like this. This is one I did earlier today. and I did more of a green shade, and I called it Doc Squad Green, as you see there, and I misspelled it with capitalization just to make the point that it's exactly the way it's spelled. Then what the client does is, what shade do you like? Well, maybe I like this one here, top right corner, okay? So if that's true, after you printed this page out to see what it looks like on paper, then you say, great. What I'll do for you now is you click on this square here, on that top right-hand square, and it just changed those color values into the center. Okay? Then you say OK, and then now you have Bob's blue, which is now more of a ugly teal, because we were playing around with the colors, and that's the color that it's going to print. Then you have the Doc Squad green here that I created before. So again, a way to create custom colors and capture those clients. Very easy to do. Now, if you have a spectrophotometer, which this device we normally put on production units, but it looks like a big mouse. There's another picture of a Pantone guide that designers use to communicate color. Here it is. This is what a spectrophotometer looks like. It's a big mouse, basically. With this, what you can do is a client can come in again with some pre-printed material that they want to see, can you hit this color? You can take the spectrophotometer, turn it over, click on the printed piece, and it will actually bring in and read the color values from that printed piece. So that all you have to do is name it, then print out the color swatch to see how close you got, then they choose it, and then you name the color. So that's really how Spot On works. It's very, very simple to use once you know how to get there and use it for that. And this was not intended to be a very long webinar because I don't think it takes a whole lot of time to explain Spot On. And I'd just like to open up the floor to any questions at this point.
I did have one question that came in. If you could explain a little more about RGB and CMYK and the difference between those two.
Sure. Not a problem. The RGB versus CMYK. Everybody right now is looking on their computer screen. RGB, of course, stands for red, green, blue. It is a larger color space than what we print in CMYK, meaning print on paper, CMYK. So there again, what happens is the designer will, or you will be looking at your monitor, designing something in Publisher or PowerPoint, and it looks brighter, has a larger gamut than when you print, and it's just a difference in RGB and CMYK. It's that simple. With the spectrophotometer, you can actually profile your monitor also, which in reality it just dummies down your monitor and reduces what's called the Kelvin temperature, or the brightness on the monitor, to match more closely what comes out on the printed page. I think that can maybe help you out if you're a center that does a lot of design work and has your clients look at the monitor, which I really wouldn't suggest because you've got a digital device, you can easily print it out and have them sign off on the proof. So, but that is the difference between the two color spaces.
Great. If anyone else has any questions, please raise your hand if you have a microphone equipped or you're on a telephone using that button in the way upper left. Or send your notes in to me. I am Justin Fuchs still. Use that send note button. I will read the question on your behalf, and Todd will be more than happy to deliver an answer to you. And right now, Todd, I don't have any other questions, so we'll just wait to see if any come in.
One other thing, when you're looking at Spot On here, these are all these different Pantone libraries. Don't get too confused about it, because again, they're going to go to the Pantone coded 9 times out of 10. Excuse me. Toyo is another colored standard company. They're actually out of Japan. That's why they're in there. So don't get too confused by all the different libraries here. Any other questions?
Todd, I do not have any questions coming in on my end.
Well, I guess I did an okay job. I want to thank everybody for coming today. We're going to post this, of course, on the BizHub Learning Center with some short questions, and hope that you got some use out of this. And I hope you all have a great shipping season, and thank you again.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much, Todd and Bill, for putting this together for us. As he said, this webinar has been recorded. We will post it to the BizHub Learning Center, so please come on back and check out the demo if you have any questions or if anyone in your office missed it. With that being said, that does conclude the webinar. You are free to go. Feel free to close the software at any time, and have a fantastic weekend.